Welcome to another interesting video. This time we have a practice test for you. 30 minutes, 25 questions. 4 of them are challenging questions. This test paper has to be solved without calculator. We have some interesting questions which will help you to understand the concept and do much better. Our approach, engaging minds, help you to connect the learnings with the context, to visualize strategies which can help you to solve critical thinking problems. By applying the learnings, we can also bridge the gaps. You can join Anil Kumar classes, gain confidence, and get ready for future. Many of my middle school students are doing excellent in grade 10 and 11 courses. I can be part of your success story, build strong foundation, and show bright future. You can join my classes by sending an email on the address given here. Let us now enjoy the journey of learning by solving this test paper. I am Anil Kumar. Welcome to my YouTube channel and the website Global Math Institute. In this video, we are going to discuss a test paper for IB grade 9 students. The topic is exponents. All the questions have been taken from previous test papers. In case you want to learn from me, you can always send an email on the address given. So this test paper is for 30 minutes. And we have 25 questions. Out of which there are 4 challenge questions. Now, in any test, to get more than 90% marks, you need to always find the solution of challenge questions. Speed is very important, and that comes from practice. I can always guide you to do better. So, in case you want to learn from me, you can always send an email and discuss a plan with your parents' permission. Now, remember that you need to provide exact answer and do not use calculators for evaluating or answering any of the parts of this question. Let us have a good look at the questions. Question number 1. Express 1 over 81 as power of 3. Evaluate minus 140 over 14 to the power of 0. Write as numeral in standard form 0.123 times 10 to the power of 5. Express 0.000000123 in scientific notation. Straightforward. So in these test papers, as you read the question, you should be in a position to write the answers. I hope you got the solution for all 4 of them. Let us move on to the next set of questions. Again, remember, do not use calculators. Question number 5. Express 1 over a to the power of minus 3 as power with positive exponents. Positive exponents. Evaluate minus 5 over 2 cube. Express cube root of 7 to the power of 5 as a power. Do not evaluate. 8. Express as a single power. Square root of x to the power of 8. So I hope you got the solutions for these also. You can always pause the video and then answer. We'll discuss their solutions shortly. Question number 9 to 12 are based on the laws of exponents. As you remember the laws, a to the power of m times a to the power of n will be what? When you do the product, the exponents get added, right? And when it is quotient, that is a to the power of m divided by a to the power of n, we get a to the power of m minus n. And then we also have the power rule, a to the power of m to the power of n, they get multiplied. So you can apply these rules to answer the questions. Clear? The next set of questions now will require slightly more time. So this is where you should spend a minute on each question. The earlier could have been solved in less than a minute. So you could save some time by quickly getting the solutions. Now in this particular case, we have to express the first number as the power of the second. So try to understand. We have to express 1 over 128 as power of 2. That is the question, correct? So we have 14 as minus 1 over 64 to be expressed as power of minus 4. And then we have these questions 9 to the power of x plus 1 over 3 to the power of 2x plus 1, which has to be expressed as power of 3. Now here purposely I've given you 3 different questions. The idea is I'll provide solution of one so that you can practice with the others. So in this test I'm also giving you a bit of practice for the topics which may not be so strong for you. So if you have answered the question so far, you're already above 70% marks. Now, let's move on to the next set of questions, which is to evaluate and which is greater, 1 over 2 to the power of 5 or 5 to the power of minus 2. Very interesting question seen in many test papers. Evaluate and verify. Now from here onwards, each question is 2 marks each. So we have these questions which are 2 marks each. Evaluate x if x cubed equals to minus 1 over 27. Solve by inspection x cubed to the power of minus 2 equals to 64. Find two integers. Find two different positive integers. Find two different positive integers where x to the power of minus y equals to y to the power of minus x. A challenge question actually, but if you know the answer, you could straight away write down the answer. So working more or exploring the topics help you get to the stage of answering such tricky questions. Now we come to the critical thinking portion. Here we have two questions which involve application and critical thinking. I'd like you to pause the video, understand these questions and answer. Question number 22. Write the following in increasing order. 2 to the power of 555, 3 to the power of 444, 4 to the power of 333, 5 to the power of 222. You have to write them in increasing order, lowest first. Question 23. Find the last digit of 3 to the power of 2022. Very interesting question, seen in many test papers. You have to see the pattern to answer this particular question. Correct? Now, these are 3 marks each. That brings us to the last 2 questions, which are not really difficult. But what they need is more practice. The key to success is practice. So practice, practice, and practice. You need to evaluate 2 to the power of 4 plus 2 to the power of minus 2, everything to the power of minus 1. And question number 25 is, if A equals to minus 2, B equals to minus 1, and C equals to 3, simplify fully and then evaluate. So there are 2 parts to this. Simplify fully and then evaluate. And these are also 3 marks each. So the key here is to practice, practice, and practice. Now, once again, in case you want to learn from me, you can always send an email on the address given and we can discuss the plan. Now, let us discuss the solution of these questions. I know you must have solved. In that case, you can skip to the end of the video. Now, for the benefit of others who need help in understanding these questions, here are a few tips. We need to express 1 over 81 as power of 3. So let's recall some rules. We know that 3 to the power of 4 is 81. However, we need 1 over 81. Then what should it be? Well, reciprocal means that the power is negative. Then that will be equal to 1 over 81. Does it make sense? Correct. So that is how we are going to solve this question. So express this as a power of 3 means this is 3 to the power of minus 4. The next question is to evaluate minus 140 over 14 to the power of 0. Now anything to the power of 0 is what? The property, as you know, is anything to the power of 0 is always 1. Do you know why? Well, simple as that. You could do something like this. If I have, let us say 2 times 2 divided by 2 times 2, let's say multiply by 3, 2 cubes. In that case, we know this is 1. That means 2 to the power of 3 minus 3, which is 0, is 1. You get the idea. Anything to the power of 0 is 1, and therefore this should also be 1. So as you read the question, you could answer them. So they definitely take less than 30 seconds to answer. Writing as a numeral in standard form. Standard form means that you have to write a number which is less than 10. So you have one place here and then you can write the other places here, since there are 3 numbers written here. So we will have to move the decimal one place to the right, just to write it as 1.23. In doing so, what did we do? Out of 10 to the power of 5, we have already consumed 10. So what left here is 10 to the power of 4. You get the idea. So that is how you could actually write this in standard form. Now express in scientific notation, that is the standard scientific notation which we are trying to write. So here also we have to write this as 1.23 into 10 to the power of what? That is what we have to figure out. And that really depends on movement of the decimal. So you move it 3 and 3 is 6 and 1. 7 positions. So minus 7. You get the idea. Since you are moving it to the right, number is very small, and therefore the exponent is minus. So these are some properties of multiplication and division by 10 which you can review. Now here are the next set of 4 questions which should be solved, as I said, within less than a minute at least. Okay, express 1 over a to the power of minus 3 as a power with positive exponents. So that becomes what? It comes in the numerator, so you may do it in 2 steps thinking wise, but 1 step straight forward. It is a cube, right? A cube can be written as 1 over a to the power of minus 3. Now we need to evaluate minus 5 over 2 whole cube. Remember, negative number cube will be negative. So what you get here is negative for sure. And then 5 cube over 2 cube, right? So you have 5 cube over 2 cube, which is 125 over 8. At this stage, I would like to remind all that you should actually know what are the powers of 2, right? 2 to the power of n. Calculate for n between what numbers? From n0 to 1, at least till 10. Is it okay? Similarly, also calculate the values for 3 to the power of n and 5 to the power of n for your records. This will help you to answer many other questions which are related to finding the last digit value. Finding the last digit value. So when you do that, my suggestion here is observe the pattern. So you can observe the pattern for 2 to the power of n, 3 to the power of n, 7 to the power of n. These are very common numbers which are asked in test papers. We have one question related to this in this set also. So let's move forward. Seventh question is 7 cube root and 5 as a power. Do not evaluate. So 7. So 1/3 this means, right? So let me do it in 2 steps. 1/3 and then this is the fifth 5 powers, right? So this is 7 to the power of 5 over 3. Okay? So that is how you could express. Now again, similar question, x to the power of 8, and this is half and half. So it is kind of x to the power of 8, and then we have half, and then again we have half, right? So you have to multiply 8 by 1 over 4. So it comes to 8 over 4, which is x to the power of 2. So it is basically x squared. Now the next set of questions is simply based on exponential laws. As you know, if I have the same base, a to the power of m, and if I multiply with a to the power of n, the rule is it is a to the power of m plus n. And if I divide, that is to say, a to the power of m divided by a to the power of n, it will be a to the power of m minus n. So that's the division. And then if I have it in exponents, which is kind of like this, then the result is the product of these. And you have also realized that a to the power of 0 will be 1. Correct. So the first one here, using exponent laws, you just have to add them. Both are negative though, right? Express with positive exponents. That means you can do x to the power of minus 1 and add this, it becomes minus 3, which is x to the power of minus 4. which you can write 1 over x to the power of 4. So think like this to get the answer. Now when you divide, it is x to the power of 5 minus of minus 3, which is x to the power of 5 plus 3, or x to the power of 8. So that becomes your answer. Now in this case, that exponent 3 should be multiplied by, becomes the exponent of each, right? So we have this as 2 cubed p to the power of 3 times 3, which is 9, and q to the power of 3 times 2, which is 6. Correct? Now here we have to work with fractions. So it's easier to calculate the fractions first. So you can do this on the side. 4 over 5 plus 2 over 5, and then take away 3 over 5. Does make sense to you, right? So basically, 4 plus 2 is 6, 6 minus 3 is 3. And what you get here is 3 over 5. And so you could write your answer as x to the power of 3 over 5. Does it make sense? So now we have answers for all. So first one is 1 over x to the power of 4, then we have x to the power of 8, and here we have 2 cubed, which is 8. So instead of 2 cubed, I'll prefer to write 8 here with the powers of p as 9 and q as 6. Correct? Now let's look into the second set of questions. We want to write the first number as power of the second. So this is my first number. I have to write it as power of 2. I hope you understand the question. Correct? So let's look into 2's power, right? So we have 2, right? That is 2 to the power of 1. And then 4, 8. Keep doubling. So that is how you have to think. And then you get 128. So you can clearly see that this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 1, 7. So it is, when I want to write this as a power of 2, I can say it is 2 to the power of 7, right? So we could write this as 1 over 2 to the power of 7. You get the idea. So that is how we could express the first term as a power of second term. 2 to the power of 1, 2 to the power of 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? You can follow this strategy to answer rest of the questions. Now, let us look into question number 15. We have 9 to the power of x plus 1 divided by 3 to the power of 2x plus 1. We have to write them as powers of 3. You know 9 is 3 squared. That should help you to answer the question, right? So we can write this as what? The numerator can be written as 3 to the power of 2 for 9, right? And we have x plus 1 here. And in the denominator, we have 3 to the power of 2x plus 1. Now the numerator, multiply each with 2, will give you 3 to the power of 2x plus 2 divided by 3 to the power of 2x plus 1. Correct? Now that is very simple to do. You can now write this as 3 to the power of 2x plus 2, take away, put this in brackets, 2x plus 1. So that gives you what? Well, 2x minus 2x is 0, and 2 minus 1 is 1. So that gives you 3 to the power of 1, which is 3, the number itself. So that is how you could actually answer question number 15. So you get 3 as your answer here, and now you are required to answer the other two questions in the similar way. So that question could take about a minute, right? Of course, you need some thinking time to solve such questions. So I hope within 15 minutes you are in a position to answer these 17 questions, right? Now comes a difficult part, slightly difficult. We have question number 18, which is larger, 1 over 2 to the power of 5 or 5 to the power of minus 2? So it's a good idea to calculate the values, right? So you can calculate. So 1 over 2 to the power of 5 is equal to what? It is equals to 1 over 2 to the power of 1 is 2, 4, 8, 16, and 32. So we have this as 32. You get, so that is 1 over 2 to the power of 5. Now let's talk about 5 to the power of minus 2. So that means 1 over 5 square, which is 1 over 25. So which is greater? Greater means you're dividing by a smaller number. And therefore, the answer clearly is 5 to the power of minus 2. Is that clear to you? So you could evaluate and then get your answer. Question number 19. Evaluate x if x cubed is minus 1 over 27. You have to figure out how do you get 27 as a power of a number. We know 3 and 3 cubed is 27. So that should help you to answer this question. We also have minus here. So minus means we could have minus 3 cubed. So that will be minus 27. But we want 27 in the denominator, and so clearly the answer should be what? Minus 3 to the power of minus 3. So that really means that x value is what? X value should not be written as minus 3. X should be written as 1 over 3. You get the idea. So it is, if I write minus 1 over 3 and then cube it, then we do get minus 1 over 27. So you see the steps involved in thinking process to get the answer. And therefore, the value of x is minus 1 over 3. Does it make sense? Slightly tricky, but as I showed you different ways of doing it, we could actually understand how do we get it. Now, we have to solve 20th question by inspection. So 64. So that is why I was saying powers of 2 should be known to you. So I think 2 to the power of 6 is 64, correct? So that should help you to answer this particular question. Now I would like you to tell me what is the value of x? We know 2 to the power of 6 is 64, correct? Okay. So that gives you a thinking problem. I have given you a hint, so I'm providing you a hint for these. Question number 21. Find two different positive integers where x to the power of minus y equals to y to the power of minus x. Now this is the type of question which I say explore. If you have already answered 20 out of 25 questions, you're almost at 80% mark. Now, you will be able to do some more, so I'm taking you at 80%. Moving forward from here is where you need to explore and learn more. When you get to this section of critical thinking, you need to master the skills. And for that, you might need guidance. You can always contact me on the address given. And when you get to the next level of questions, which I've kept purposely at the end, which are not so difficult, what you need is practice. To solve these questions, which are more practice based, you need to work hard to get there and do less mistakes in calculations, gain confidence. So I hope you have learned from this particular video that to really master the skills, you have to do challenging questions. That will help you to be right on the top. With that, we are going to end the video. You can always send an email and inquire more, and you can also explore our website, the Global Math Institute, for some challenging questions. I hope you enjoyed and liked the video. Feel free to write your comments, share your views, and if you like and subscribe to my videos, that'd be great. Thanks for your time and all the best.